So hi guys, welcome to Derive. In this video, we're going to discuss and derive the formula for the third scenario. So consider a particle of this shape comes from point A with an elevation of YA to ground at point C. Other scenario has the from YA, it will pose from the other elevation sample of YC. But in this scenario, we're going to have from point A to point C only, that the point C is on the ground. But other sample has the elevation YA from elevation YC. Okay, so let us start the derivation of formulas. So again, we're going to find the total time of light from point A to point C, the horizontal distance range R, and the YA and the H. Of course, our Y max here has a different approach. It will be the total of the Y's of A plus H. Or if you have a YC, so you have the YA minus YC plus H. Of course, if you have no YC, just equate it to 0 and you have your YA plus H. But pero yung approach na yon na kung may YA ka tapos may YC ka, it falls also on this third scenario. Okay, let us proceed. So we're going to use also the distance formula of the straight line motion. Of course, we are going to convert it for the projectile motion. So since it's displacement, if you have a YC, of course that will be YC minus YA is equal to what you call that, BOYT, since it tackles vertical motion, BOYT minus 1/2 GT squared. So what we are going to find here is the total time of flight, which is the T. Okay, since you have no YC, just equate it to 0, so you have your negative YA, and obviously kapag may ganito ang problem, kung pababa yung motion, of course your elevation here will be negative. Okay, kasi nga displacement yan. Kung may YC ka, of course, kunyari YA mo is 5 and your YC is 2, so you have the YA minus YC is 3, so that will be negative 3 kasi nga pababa ka, kasi ang displacement is from your initial position to last position. So your last position will be YC if you have the height YC. If not, of course, just equate it to 0. So that will explain this negative sign here. Okay, just proceed. So are we going to simplify it? As you can notice, if we are searching for the time, so this will be a quadratic equation. So our time here will be put it here, here. Okay, there are some space. So rearranging the terms, of course, we have negative 1/2 GT squared plus VO sine theta multiplied by T here. Of course, pangit. Yan. Okay, so BOYT transpose. Okay, you have your Y is equal to 0. So if you are going to put on this in the calculator by shift mode 3, of course, you need to rearrange first the term. Syempre, una yung may T squared, pangalawa yung term na T raised to 1. Of course, that your term here will be your constant term. So we're not going to simplify it one by one, but just use the quadratic equation, which is using the quadratic equation, you will have your negative B minus plus minus B squared minus 4AC. Tama ba? Of course, I'm going to parenthesis here over 2A. Yan. So yun, makukuha nyo na yung time. Bali, ang mangyayari dyan, your time will have 2 roots, okay? Or 2 solutions. You have your plus and minus. Kunyari, 5 seconds. Ganyan. No. Sorry. So, plus and minus. Magkakaroon ka na dyan ng two roots na magkaiba. Sorry for the 5. Parang the same kasi yun. So, you have, magkakaroon ka dyan ng plus and minus na answer. So, bakit kaya plus and minus? Yung plus mo, of course, that will be your true time from point A to C. And how about the negative answer, sir? That will explain the imaginary line here. So, kung ano man yung makukuha mo na time, yan pala yung dapat na kung kumpleto yung curve mo. Yun yung time from point, kunyari, point Z to point A, yun pala yung negative time mo. So, if you complete this curve, you are going to have an absolute value of this time, and from A to C, you have your complete time for the whole curve. Kaya nagkakaroon siya ng positive doon. Ibig sabihin, yun yung time from point C to point A. But we are going to have only the from point A to point C. Of course, just choose the positive. Okay, sir. Meron pa ba tayong ibang solution para makuha natin yung time AC without using the quadratic equation? Yes, we have. So, others are not explaining this, that we have an alternative solution for us to get the time AC without using the quadratic equation. But how? Basta given lang yung velocity, theta, of course, yung YA. Yes. So, as I said earlier, this scenario is a combination of the first and second scenario. So, we're going to see kung bakit. Okay, so makahanap lang natin ng TAC without using the quadratic equation kapag pinag-plus pa rin natin yung total time from A to B plus total time from B to C. Ginawa natin to nung second scenario, pero hindi napapalag dito na pwede mo lang i-times 2 agad kasi nga this shape is not symmetric anymore. Kung kumpleto lang sana yung curve kagaya nyan, makukuha na natin, but not. It's from point A to point C and has a different shape. Hindi kagaya nung second scenario na pwede mo lang i-times 2 kasi nga symmetric yung parabola graph mo or parabola curve mo. So, okay, isa-isayin natin. So, from point A to point B, naalala nyo ba nung second scenario na ganito rin yung itsura nung from point A to point B? So, of course, it is half of the curve. Ang formula natin dyan ay V sin theta over G. So, karoon ka ng TAB. Okay, malapit na tayo. So, kahit hindi natin gamitin yung kahit hindi natin gamitin yung quadratic equation, we're going to find the TAC. Basta given lang yung velocity and the theta, and of course, the YA. So, how about the point B to C? So, remember the first scenario that a particle only comes up horizontally from a cliff. Okay? So, parang ganyan siya ulit. Okay? Parang ganyan siya ulit. So, that will be T is equal to square root of 2y over G. And in this scenario, okay, our time here is 2h. Kasi nag-label ako ng h kanina doon. So, wag malilito. Basta tingin lang sa drawing. Tingin lang sa drawing, of course. Yan. So, you have your T, B, C. And ayun, just add it. So, TAC will be V sin theta over G plus square root of 2h over D. Ayan, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, basta given yung velocity mo, yung angle theta mo, and pati yung h mo, you are going to have your TAC. But the usual process here is that you are going to use the quadratic equation nga. So, madali lang naman sa calcu. But in case lang na you need an alternative solution, you may depend on this. Basta given yung h. Kaso karaniwan kasi, hindi given yung h pa. Pero kung sakali lang. So, there you have it. You are, you have your TAC already. Okay? Tapos, dalawa pa yung solution mo. Di ba? Ang saya. Okay, so ano naman ang pupuntahan nating sunod? So punta naman tayo, proceed tayo sa R, horizontal distance R. So R, kagaya ng first and second equation, your horizontal velocity is constant throughout the path from point A to B, from point B to point C. So okay, you have your BOX again. Of course, multiply only by the total time of flight from point A to point C. And R is equal to BO cosine VO cosine theta multiply by time AC. So guys, pansin nyo sa mga videos ko, no, kapag nasa gilid na ako, hirap na magsulat, lalo na kung yung mesa mo hindi ganong mahaba. Kaya kapag nagaganto ka, nag-graphing o drawing tablet ka, you need a much wider space in order for you to have a good handwriting at the side or good drawing at the side. Anyway, I'm just a little bit sharing. Okay, so as you notice, meron din tayong TAC dito. So pwede pala nating sabihin na yung TAC rito is equal to TAC rito. So divide mo. So TAC is equal to R over BO cosine theta. So pwede mo palang equate yun, no? So kung given naman yung range mo at initial velocity and yung theta mo, so pwede mo ring makuha yung TAC mo. Okay, so if you're searching for H naman and your time AC is not present, you may and your R is present, of course, you may equate your R over BO cosine theta here. And just doing some basic minus basic difference, so you're going to have your H. Okay, so last na ba tayo? Okay, so last na, meron na tayong range and meron na tayong TAC. Okay, saan naman tayo? So we're going to find for the YA. So meron tayong H kanina. So kapag tinanong yung Y max, yung total Y max, which is the sum of H plus YA, may masasagot ka na kasi i-derive na natin itong YA. Okay, so YA. Okay, YA. So adjust ko lang ulit guys para hindi na tayo magbura. Okay, yan, so lagay ko lang si logo dun. Okay, essential sa abala guys. Ayan, we're going to proceed naman to derive for this YA. So guys, pansin nyo medyo mahaba lang yung mga videos natin or time ng derivation kasi nga we need to explain it one by one kasi nga nagde-derive ka. Pero at the end naman sulit kasi alam mo saan galing yung formula, alam mo paano di-discarte, alam mo yung foundation, alam mo yung principle, alam mo yung choice, etc. etc. So tama ng daldal where I'm going to proceed from the YA. For the YA, okay, so yan, meron tayo kanina doon na YA, so we're going to use it again. So negative YA again guys, kapag may binagsakan na iba pang building from a building to a much lower building, just minus it kasi ang tinutukoy namang S dito is displacement. Okay, so negative YA, and because YC here is 0 kasi sa ground si point C, so dapat may YC siya dyan and equate it to 0. So your negative YA will become BO sin theta multiplied by total time of flight minus 1/2 G TAC squared. So your TAC, so ano yung pwede natin gamitin ng ating TAC? Of course, ito. Kasi masyadong komplikado pag to, tsaka pag to. Kasi nga wala ka pang ano dito, simplified answer sa using quadratic equation. So we may use the R. So itong madiderive natin minsan lumalabas din sa board exam. So we're going to use it. So negative YA is equal to VO sin theta times R, of course R, VO cosine theta minus 1/2 g. Ay, bakit nasulat ko? Ayoko nun. So 1/2 g over r VO cosine theta squared. And substituting, so you have your negative YA is equal to, cancel mo yung VO, you have your R tangent theta, of course 1/2 GR squared over BO squared cosine squared theta. So in-squared ko na lang agad, so you have your GR squared over VO squared cosine squared theta. And there you have it. So yan guys, naka-create tayo ng isa pang Derive equation. So kung makikita nyo to sa ibang textbook, so sa ibang review book, ang ginagamit na R dito is x. Negative y is equal to x tangent theta minus g x squared over BO squared cosine squared theta. So I forgot to put that 2 again. So sorry, I'm going to use black. So ayan, you have your negative y is equal to r tangent theta minus gr squared over 2BO squared cosine squared theta. So ang karaniwan namang hinahanap dito sa mga board exam problems kapag ito yung approach mo is yung range lang din o kaya yung negative YA mo. Okay, ang usually na encounter ko dyan is given naman yung horizontal range R, sinesearch nilang lang yung height of the building, which is the YA in this situation. So perfect, you have your equation here. Okay, sir, paano naman kapag baliktad? Kapag galing naman sa ground, pinukol mo yung nasa building. So height of YA, I'm sorry guys, nag automatic shape. Yan, YA. So there are, so ang ano lang dito guys is gawin mo lang positive tong YA. So your YA here is positive. Okay, so ang final formula pala is lagyan mo lang ng plus minus to. Plus minus. Kapag pababa, of course, use the minus. Kapag pataas, use the plus. Okay, yun lang guys. There you have it. You have your Derive formula. And salamat sa pagsama sa akin in derivation of the projectile motion. Sample problems will be posted soon. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more derivation of formulas and for more exercises. Thank you so much guys. God bless you all. So review lang, tanim lang ng tanim, balang araw aani rin. So thank you again. So this is Hason, this is Engineer Hason Bautista, and thank you again for watching and visiting my channel. So let us learn, let us derive. Bye bye.